Hey guys, everything new under the sun here. It is a Monday morning. Happy New Week to everybody. This article is from yahoo.com, and I also saw it commented on also on Zero Hedge, but I'm reading it from the Yahoo website here. Germany tells people to stockpile food in case of attacks. Now, this story doesn't quite add up to me, honestly, but let's read through it, and I'll tell you what I think of it. For the first time since the end of the Cold War, the German government plans to tell citizens to stockpile food and water in case of an attack or catastrophe. The Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung newspaper reported Sunday. Germany is currently on high alert after two Islamist attacks and the shooting rampage by a mentally unstable teenager last month. Berlin announced measures earlier this month to spend considerably more on its police and security force and to create a special unit to counter cybercrime and terrorism. The population will be obliged to hold an individual supply for 10 days. The newspaper quoted the government's concept for self-defense, which has been prepared by the Interior Ministry. A spokeswoman for the Interior Ministry said the plan would be discussed by the cabinet on Wednesday and presented to the minister that afternoon. He declined to give any further comment. People will be required to stockpile enough drinking water to last for 5 days, according to the plan. It goes on. However, the precautionary measures demand that people prepare appropriately for a development that could threaten our existence and cannot be categorically ruled out in the future. I'm gonna stop there. I have no idea what the intention of this is. I don't think this is related to terrorist attacks. Since when did a terror attack threaten Germany's existence? Since when did a terror attack prevent food from getting stocked on the store shelves? Even if you have 1,000 migrants or something, terrorists, marching around like they did in Cologne, and causing problem, raping and certainly bothering women in Cologne in Germany on, I think that was New Year's Eve or whatever. Even if you have 1,000 people, does that constitute a requirement for stockpiling food and water? I think it's a very weird story. I think this is way beyond terrorism. I think the German government knows that probably an economic collapse is coming. What other thing would be an existential threat to Germany? What other requirement? Why would they need 5 days of water and 10 days of food for terrorists? Even if there was a dirty bomb, a dirty nuclear weapon that somehow the terrorists got a hold of and released, I suppose maybe but that would wipe out a city maybe, or require everybody to be evacuated from the city. But that doesn't mean there's not going to be food in the rest of the country. Now this is ominous. This is I think the German government sees an economic collapse coming. I don't think there's any wars or immediate threats of annihilation in the books. So it's certainly funny that they would come out and say this. I think the only thing that they can be seeing is an economic collapse, which would cut the supply lines, which would cause there to be food if there was a massive economic collapse and a switchover of a fiat currency. And this would give the government time, basically, to get the army in place and get food moving again in some emergency sort of fashion. Again, to say stockpiling food and water because of terrorist events doesn't really add up. It doesn't make a lot of sense there, because often these attacks are lone wolf attacks, one-off. They kill multiple people, but that doesn't put any sort of money supply into jeopardy there. So again, I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. What's realistic about it? There's another article by Time. Let me just click over to this one. I think this is basically the same thing. Germans will be asked to stockpile food and water in case of catastrophe. But again, I don't know what this means. it's just a civil defense strategy I'm just reading there. And you know, it makes sense in the long run, but to connect it to terrorist events or something, it doesn't seem like it's a catastrophic or existential thing. So I think basically I'm guessing that the German government knows an economic collapse is imminent, inevitable, and in Europe you would hope they would know it even better than maybe North Americans do, because we're just dumb and happy over here, and we have no idea what's happening, basically. So I think that's what it's pointing to, and being that we're so close to the fall period, and what everybody else believes is going to be the economic collapse, I think it would make sense that they're warning this. I think all countries should do this, but certainly I don't think it has anything to do with terrorism. So let me know what you think of it. Is this really related to terrorism, or do they know something else is right on the horizon that is imminent? Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.